Let's go to Nickolaus Bauer. He's in Cape Town and he was attending that medium-term policy statement by the minister. He's now with the Deputy Minister of Finance, David Masondo. Nickolaus, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you, Kathy. You join us once again at the steps of the National Assembly. What a speech today by Tito Mboweni. Mixed bag. Opposition parties were, by and large, not happy about it. Really nothing much to write home about in the eyes of the DA, the UDM, the IFP, basically every party except for the ANC. Let's hear from Tito Mboweni's deputy now, David Masondo, joining us. Deputy Minister, Pawunjani.
Ngiyaphila, Nicholas, and good afternoon to your viewers.
So, this is not exactly where the government wants to be, but where is South Africa going to be in 6 to 12 months' time with the plan that was laid out today? Explain it to us in simple terms for the viewers at home.
The next 12 months, we will be trying very hard to grow the economy. In the next 12 months, people who are unemployed, they'll be getting their 350, even though it's up until end of January next year, because it's just a 3 months extension. We'll also be having bigger conversations with South Africans about the fact that our debt is growing, and the danger of growing debt is the fact that you also have to pay the debt service cost. And in the last 3 years, we've been paying 460 billion towards servicing the debt, and it took away money from infrastructure, from other social services that South Africans need. And if we go on this trajectory, our debt in 2023 will be above 5 million. So we'll be having conversations on two fronts. One is how we consolidate our expenditure, but consolidate it in such a manner that we don't cut on social grants, on other social services.
But Deputy Minister, let me maybe just cut in with you there. I mean, it's very encouraging that we are continuing to support those people that have been stricken by COVID-19 with the continuation of grants and support, especially this 350 Rand until the end of January 2021. But talk to us in simple terms. The majority of South Africans, they don't want a handout from government. It helps, but they'd actually just like a job. So explain to the young job seeker in Lusikisiki, someone watching you on TV in Atlantis right now, someone watching you in the middle of Hammanskraal that has never ever worked, that has possibly even got a tertiary education and needs a job. How is government going to make that happen?
We've put almost 15 billion for public employment program, in which young people, the unemployed, will be getting employed in infrastructure programs, but also national departments at the national level. They will be undertaking a number of infrastructure projects to seek to absorb a number of people into employment. Not only that, there's other programs that government is undertaking, reindustrialization of South Africa. There's a number of plans that we've put together and which we're financing to make sure that we get as many people as possible to be employed. Because at the moment, we've got 14 million South Africans who are unemployed. That's a big problem that we're seeking to resolve also through this budget and other programs that government is undertaking.
So, Deputy Minister, let's talk about the debt levels. I mean, we're going to go and hopefully, if all things go to plan, according to this midterm budget policy statement, we're going to top out at 95% of GDP. That's going to be our top-end debt levels. At this point in time, 2.1 billion Rand needs to be borrowed on a day-to-day basis to fund government programs. How are we going to get that under control if we're forking out 10.5 billion Rand for the likes of SAA and other non-performing SOEs also needing to be bailed out?
So there's a number of things that we are doing to make sure that we reduce the debt. We want to embark on what we call zero-based budgeting, in which you start from scratch. You don't budget on the basis of what you allocated to a department in the previous year. There's expenditure reviews that we're undertaking just to assess where the fat is, so that when we undertake the zero-based budgeting approach, at least we know where the fat is, and we're starting with the Department of Finance and then the Department of Public Enterprise. You're right. We're very concerned about the amount of monies that we're putting into SOEs. The money that we've allocated to SAA, it's mainly to deal with the restructuring of SAA, because at the moment you have to pay the contractual obligations that you have as SAA, e.g. the people who are...
But Deputy Minister, is that going to be the last of it? Because I think we spent over 100 billion rand over the years since the dawn of democracy bailing SAA out. Surely the South African people need to know when this is going to come to an end.
Absolutely. We're hoping that out of a restructured SAA, they will bring an equity partner. They will also bring new management, they will bring new efficiencies insofar as this airline is concerned. And if there will be any cash injection in future, it should be a cash injection just to get that airline operating. And I'm hoping that it will be for the last time that South Africans will be forking money to bail out an inefficient, unprofitable, an airline which is not even breaking even.
Deputy Minister, you spoke about FAT. I need 15 seconds an answer from you. The review of remuneration for senior management in local, provincial and national government as well as SOEs. What are we talking about? 10, 20% salary cut? Is there any number that you've put on cutting this fat out of the remuneration packages of our senior civil servants?
Remember, the SOE's remuneration is under the Department of Public Enterprise, and we're engaging them to establish a benchmark according to which...
well, what are the numbers, Deputy Minister? Give me a number.
At the moment, Nickolaus, unfortunately, I do not have the exact numbers, but we are engaging them on that conversation.
Thank you very much for being a good sport on Newzroom Afrika. A very difficult time for all members of the Treasury team now, needing to put the meat on the bones of this government plan to try and bounce back, not only from COVID-19. We have to remember we were in a recession before the global pandemic began.